Why Italy switched sides in World War II. At the start of World War II, Italy stood alongside Nazi Germany, marching under Mussolini's fascist rule. But by 1943, Italy did something almost unheard of in wartime. It switched sides, declaring war on its former ally. How did this happen? And why did Italy turn against Hitler? The answer is more complicated than you think. Italy's role in World War II was one of the most dramatic and turbulent of any major power involved. Initially aligned with Hitler's Germany, Benito Mussolini envisioned a new Roman Empire, one that would dominate the Mediterranean and rival the great European powers. But things didn't go as planned. Italy's military campaigns were disastrous, its people grew restless, and Mussolini's grip on power began to slip. Faced with mounting pressure from both the Allies and its own citizens, Italy made a bold and dangerous choice. It switched sides mid-war, joining the very forces it had once fought against. Today, we'll explore why Italy turned against Germany, how it impacted the course of the war, and the consequences of this dramatic betrayal. Italy's decision to switch sides wasn't just a sudden political maneuver. It was the result of years of failed military campaigns, public discontent, and pressure from both inside and outside the country. Under Mussolini, Italy entered the war in 1940 as part of the Axis powers, believing that victory alongside Hitler would be quick and decisive. But from the very beginning, Italy's military struggled. The invasion of Greece in 1940 was a disaster. Italian forces, expecting an easy victory, were pushed back by Greek troops, forcing Germany to step in and bail them out. In North Africa, Italy's attempt to seize British-controlled territories ended in defeat. Again, Hitler had to intervene, sending Erwin Rommel and the Afrika Korps to stabilize the front. The invasion of the Soviet Union, in which Italy contributed troops, turned into a brutal disaster, with thousands of Italian soldiers freezing and dying on the Eastern Front. Back home, Italians were losing faith in Mussolini. The war had drained the country's economy, rations were running low, and bombings by the Allies had devastated Italian cities. By 1943, Italy was collapsing from within. The once powerful fascist regime was crumbling, and the people wanted change. But Mussolini wasn't willing to surrender, so others took matters into their own hands. The tipping point came in July 1943, when the Allies launched the invasion of Sicily, an operation designed to drive Italy out of the war. The Italian army, already demoralized, put up little resistance. Just weeks later, Rome was within the Allies' sights, and Mussolini's support had all but vanished. On July 25, 1943, Mussolini was arrested by his own government after a coup led by Italy's King Victor Emmanuel III and military leaders. The Italian Fascist Grand Council voted him out, and a new government under Marshal Pietro Badoglio took over. At first, the new government pretended to still be part of the Axis to avoid immediate German retaliation. But secretly, they began negotiations with the Allies. Finally, on September 8, 1943, Italy announced an armistice with the Allies, effectively switching sides. However, this move came at a terrible cost. Germany, feeling betrayed, immediately invaded Italy, seizing control of Rome and the northern half of the country. Mussolini, after being rescued by German commandos, was installed as a puppet leader in northern Italy, leading the so-called Italian Social Republic under Nazi control. Meanwhile, Italy's new government declared war on Germany on October 13, 1943, officially becoming part of the Allied forces. But Italy's suffering wasn't over yet. Italy's switch had major consequences, both politically and on the battlefield. The country was now divided. The south was controlled by the new pro-Allied Italian government. The north was occupied by Nazi Germany and Mussolini's fascist loyalists. Italy became a brutal battleground between German forces, Italian partisans, and the advancing Allied troops. Cities were bombed, resistance fighters were executed, and the country was plunged into civil war between fascist supporters and those fighting for liberation. One of the most infamous moments came in April 1945, when Mussolini, realizing the war was lost, tried to flee to Switzerland. He was captured by Italian partisans and executed. His body displayed in a public square in Milan as a symbol of Italy's final break from fascism. By May 1945, the war was over, but Italy had paid a heavy price. Italy's switch from the Axis to the Allies was one of the most dramatic shifts in World War II. It wasn't just about politics, it was about survival. Under Mussolini, Italy's military failures and the suffering of its people made it clear that the country was on the losing side. With the Allies closing in and the people demanding change, Italy had no choice but to abandon its former ally and fight against Nazi Germany. But this decision came with devastating consequences: German occupation, civil war, and the violent end of Mussolini's regime. It was a betrayal that changed the course of the war, and one that defined Italy's turbulent path in the 20th century. What do you think? Was Italy's decision to switch sides a necessary move, or was it an act of betrayal? Let us know in the comments. And if you're interested in more World War II history, check out some of our other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep uncovering history's darkest secrets with us. Thanks for watching.